All right, we're going to start a new project. A new project is called perspective. Now, there's three types of perspective. There's 1-point perspective, 2-point perspective, and 3-point perspective. And you got to use your ruler all the time when you're drawing perspective. So I'm going to put my ruler across the top of the page, and about a third of the way up, I'm going to draw a horizon line. Horizon's where the sky meets the earth. If you go to the beach, the best example is where the sky meets the water is your horizon. With 1-point perspective, you're going to put a dot, and everything's going to vanish off to that dot. This is the idea that if you're standing on the railroad tracks and you look down the railroad tracks get smaller as they go away from you. It doesn't really happen, but that's the idea behind it. So if we were drawing in a road, our road would, again, go to the vanishing point. As the viewer, we're down here, everything is bigger, and as we look into the design, everything gets smaller as it goes away. If we had some mountain ranges across the back, in the back, out west, got some nice beautiful mountains, and it just fades away, and maybe there's some mountains in front of some of the other mountains. But that vanishing point, it's not going to be that big, and you're not going to see the point, but it's the idea that it's there. If you had a sun, remember, we never put the sun in the corner. We're going to make the sun nice and round. All right, so if we had railroad tracks, the railroad tracks would be with the lines for the ties, or the railroad, the stakes. The end of the end of the railroad ties would go to the vanishing point, and they would get smaller and closer together. If it was a road, the lines in the road would get shorter and smaller and thinner and closer together to where they almost turned into a solid line, and they're getting smaller as they go off in the distance. That's the concept. Everything gets smaller as it goes off in the distance. If you have a row of trees, you draw your first tree over here. It's a nice beautiful tree, and it's got the base of the tree. You take your ruler and you'd line up. You gotta hold the ruler down. You'd put in a guideline very lightly. The guideline is going to tell you where the base of the tree is going to start, and then you put in another from the top of the tree to the vanishing point. That tells you where the rest of the tree is going to go. So you draw your second tree. It's not as big as the first tree, and the trunk goes all the way down to where it started. The next tree is a little smaller, and its trunk goes to where the trunk line. Now see, all these trees are lining up along the road. They're getting smaller, and they would be getting closer together as they went down. So try to keep things straight up and down vertically. You can use your ruler at the bottom of the page. If when you're drawing your line, this is straight, then this line will be straight. If there is some difference here to here, your line will be crooked. So when you're drawing all your vertical things, it should be straight up. Line it up with the ruler and draw them straight up. If you had a house on this side, the top of the house would go to the vanishing point, the roof line would go to the vanishing, this roof line would go to the vanishing point. This line these lines would line up, and these lines all go to the vanishing point. All these lines go to the vanishing point. That's why they call it 1-point perspective, because everything goes to this one point. We're going to do 2-point perspective, which is going to give us a vanishing point on either side of the paper. And the drawing that we're going to do, again, you're going to start about a third of the way down the paper with a line across the top and a vanishing point. Now I'm going to start hand drawing all of these lines because it takes longer to use the ruler, and I need to get through this quickly. So in 2-point perspective, you have the same box, except now you see the box from the left and the right side. And then you decide how tall your box is going to be, and you put some dots on the box. You line these dots up with the vanishing point, and you draw a line. You do it at the top. Well, if you do it at the left side, you're going to do it at the right side. So you do it at the left, this one's going to the right, goes to the right. So here's your box. The right edge of the box is smaller than the center. The center is closest to you. As you move up the page, the center is the first thing you get to. This is further away, this is further away. So they should be smaller. If you're drawing a box below eye level, the lines are going to have a look that appears to these outside lines, which are the outside walls, are going to be up higher. And you're going to decide how tall you want your building. You line your ruler up with the vanishing point every single time, and you draw the line. every single time with that ruler on the vanishing point. So there's your box, but you're missing the top of the box. You're just seeing a left side. There's a left side, there's a right side. Here's a left side, here's a right side. You're seeing the left and the right side, but you're not seeing the roof or the top of the box. So you go to the left corner and you line up with your vanishing point, and you draw a line to the right vanishing point. From the left corner to the right, and from the right corner to the left, and there is the roof of your box. Every single time drawn with the vanishing point. You have 3 lines. This line, and this line are all going here. This line, and this line are all going here. Every time you're drawing these lines with the ruler, every single time those lines should go. If you have a door on this side of the building, the door will be vertical just like the walls, but the top of the door is going to go to the vanishing point. There's a door on the left side, the top of the door is going to go to the left vanishing point. If you have a window that's in the center of the building, the bottom line is going to go to the vanishing point, the top line is going to go to the vanishing point. Everything goes to a vanishing point. Everything goes to a vanishing point. All right, so we're going to show you the handout, and once you have the handout, you're going to follow all the directions from the golden rules of perspective. There's only one horizontal line in your drawing. That's number 1, the horizon line. Number 2 is every building's going to have 3 vertical lines. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Every building's got 3 vertical lines. That shows you rule number 2. Rule number 3, all of the lines in the drawing are diagonal. There's 3 directions. This is vertical, straight up and down. This is horizontal, left and right. Anything that falls in between diagonal and vertical, between horizontal and vertical, becomes a diagonal line. Any direction other than horizontal or vertical becomes a diagonal line. All diagonal lines go to the vanishing point. I always use this little example here to prove this point or show this point. All these lines, they're the diagonal lines. Look at them, they're all going. If I put windows on this, all the windows on the right side would go to the right vanishing point. All the windows on the left side would go to the left vanishing point. You can see every line goes to a vanishing point, the left one or the right one, every single time. Alright, so there's all of our rules. You can't have, except for the buildings that are drawn incorrectly. Building 4, you can't have a building in front of another building. See, this building's in front of it, and the bottom and the base is further away from you. This base is closer, but this building's in front of it. So you can't have that. It looks like this building is floating up in air. So you draw this building in front of this building to correct it. You make this building behind this. You erase this line that comes down, you erase this line here, and you draw in this building that is this right side of this one. The building number 5, they didn't finish drawing the building down below the horizon line. You don't see a bottom. So all these buildings have bottoms. This one doesn't have a bottom. It's on the other side of the earth, because that's where the sky meets the water. It's the other side of the earth. So you'd have to bring lines straight down, decide where that dot is for the bottom of the building, place that dot, and draw to the vanishing point. Make the left and right side. This building, you're walking down the street, building number 6 says you can't get into the left side and the right side of the building from the same street. You have to go around the corner, and here's the building right here. So they forgot to make this line, and this line are going here, but this line is going to the wrong vanishing point. So again, you draw a line to that vanishing point, right there like that, and that would correct. And you need to erase this area down here, and that would make this building correctly. So if I put this ruler on here like this, you can see how that makes this building look like the same shape as all the other buildings. You must use your ruler every single time when you draw a diagonal line. All diagonal lines must be drawn with a ruler and must go to a vanishing point. Alright, so I'm going to show you every page of the handout so that you can push pause. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can push pause and be able to read the directions for everything that you're doing. That's page 2. You flip it over. We've already done all of these directions in class. There's page 3. And it finishes with a box that's at eye level. See, this one's at eye level means you don't see the roof of the building. You just see a left side and a right side. On the next drawing, we're drawing a building below eye level. When we draw a building below eye level, These three lines are not going to touch or cross the horizon line. They never come in contact with the horizon line. This is a non-negotiable deal. These three lines can't touch or cross here. Same rules as before. Go to the center line, decide how tall you want your building by placing these two dots. Connect the dots and draw the lines in these areas to connect these walls here, 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 and here. And the diagrams just show you finishing off to where you end up drawing it at the top and the bottom. All four lines for the tops and bottoms, 1, 2, 3, 4, drawn in. And now you have a left corner and a right corner. You're going to draw from the left corner to the right vanishing point, to the right corner to the left vanishing point, and that's what shows you on page 6. Page 6 shows you finishing out your drawing, drawing it to the left corner to the right vanishing point, the right corner to the left vanishing point. So push pause at any time to look at any of these pages and in their progression. So once you've worked through drawing the handout, you should have a box at eye level, and one below eye level. Remember, below eye level, these three lines don't touch or cross the horizon. That means you see the roof of the building. Okay? Once you've worked through the directions in the handout, you should have drawn a box at eye level first, then a box below eye level second. The next step is to draw this city on your paper and fix buildings 4. See, 4 has been fixed. 3 is now in front of 4. It's drawn in front. This area here that used to be in front is now behind. Building 5 has been extended down, and now you can see a bottom on building 5 just like you see a bottom on all the other buildings. So building 5 has been extended down. That's how you correct that one. And this area here that used to be the wall for building 6 is now going to the vanishing point, and it is drawn correctly. They all take on the same shape. After you've done this, you're going to create a city of your own. You're going to take your piece of paper and you're going to draw on your horizon line, and then you're going to start drawing some buildings. You can draw in some roads, draw in some buildings, always using your vanishing point and your diagonal lines to go to the vanishing point all the way through the whole design. Then you show me this and I say, hey, you're ready for the big paper. You have a plan, a blueprint for what you're going to do in your city. Thanks a lot and have fun.